Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Muscatine Today Show. I am so happy that you joined us today. It is National Watermelon Day. I know, it's exciting. So I want to start off the show by saying thanks to all of our great sponsors. Without them, we wouldn't be here. So thank you so much to R7 Reclaimed, Impact Life Blood Center, Lutheran Living, CBI, Toyota of Muscatine, Impact Athletic Performance, Suntan City Muscatine, Real Estate Resource Associates, Unity Point Health Trinity Muscatine, and of course Hy-Vee with the Market Grill Express studios here as we take over every morning. I am excited because Mr. Tony Tone is here this morning to talk about all of the things Muskies, and it's hard to believe that we are going to be heading back to school, that we're like talking about that it's like that time.
I know. Thank you for having me, Ashley. I wasn't being rude. I was sharing
he was trying to ignore
the post so that everybody knows to watch us, which of course they do. Yeah, what is it, August 3rd?
Yeah.
And as of right now, we are 20 days away from like New Muskie Day for 7th graders at Susan Clark Junior High, and then for 9th graders at Muscatine High School, and then for all the preschool and elementary kids, they would start on the 25th, so 22 days away. As I say that, I know that like if my kids were watching, they would be telling me to like be quiet, because certainly summer cannot be over that quickly, right?
No.
But then there's other people that are like, bring on the pumpkin spice latte and Halloween.
Yeah.
And
I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah,
I love fall. Fall's my favorite,
So do
but
I.
I'm not quite ready for summer to be like over.
I feel it. Yeah, I think as you get, first of all, people need to know, as soon as you're like 18, it goes by so quick. There's no slowing down time. I mean, it really does. Just as soon as I graduated high school, it's been seemingly like a sprint.
Yep.
But yeah, as you get older and as you have kids, and as a kid, you remember the summers felt like they went on forever.
Yeah.
Like I felt like when I would go back to school growing up that I was like taller and smarter, and really it was just like 3 months. But yeah, my kids are not ready, and I don't think they're alone. But we are, like, and I know that for other, districts around us, like in Illinois, Rock Island Moline schools started yesterday. So, right, yeah, so there are kids that are back in school as we're sitting here right now on August 3rd.
Yikes.
So, but for Muscatine Community School District, that is not the case. Like we said, we got a couple weeks to go. But
yeah. But there's been some fun stuff going on.
Yeah, it's
over
been
the
a
summer.
really good summer. So I want to give a big shout out to all the teachers and the volunteers and the community partners that helped out with our Muskie Spark summer program. So this idea, they had done like a STEAM-themed summer school program 2 years ago, and the idea was to have it again this summer. And Ashley, there were over 350 kids at Muskie Spark. It was held at Jefferson, and I don't know if we have video or pictures, but it was so amazing.
Yep. We have the video, I think. Jess can share if we want to do that.
We had so many great people from the community. So in the afternoon, it was a lot of enrichment. There were a lot of hands-on things. The library was there, the county conservation. One time I walked into a classroom and there were just chickens. And I didn't know that. And there were chickens literally not flying all over the place, but there were chickens in the classroom that Dave Bakke and everybody from county conservation had brought. And the kids loved it. And we can't assume that all students get to have a lot of hands-on experiences like that.
Yeah.
But for the kids at Muskie Spark, I mean, they got to do so many. One of the cool things that happened last week was there was a group from MCC and then Eastern Iowa Community Colleges, and one of the classes, this teacher that was there, they create apps. And they were showing this app. Cool. You scan a picture of a dinosaur, and then you hold up your phone, and the dinosaur is full scale on the device.
Stop it.
So it was just like, that's what I'm saying. There were just so many different experiences that the kids got to have. They did curriculum, like learning stuff in the morning, but then it was really that enrichment stuff in the afternoon that made Muskie Spark a huge success.
Like, super fun.
Yeah, and the thing that
the reason that 350 kids
right
be a part of it.
And our hope, and I don't think this is a spoiler, but the hope and the plan is to do Muskie Spark again next summer.
Yep.
Whether it looks the same or not, TBD.
Yep.
But the thing that I loved hearing from folks like Corey Spees, who is a principal at Franklin, and Dr. Candy Steele that's at Jefferson, they kind of were in charge along with Troy and a couple other people. They said that kids were running in to the building.
That's awesome.
So, and if you think about kids being excited to the point where they're running from the car into school, that doesn't necessarily happen all the time, but it was happening at Muskie Spark, and it was a huge success. And of course, we'll look for things like data that shows how the program maybe helped kids, not have any summer learning loss, or maybe they were able to maintain where they were when the year ended, or maybe it helped them elevate their learning going into the school year. But yeah, the amount of support from people like Kim Warren with Aligned Impact Muscatine, she was there, I think, almost every day, and really did a good job working with the district to bring in police department, fire department, like I said, county conservation, so many different groups. It was really wonderful. I can't say enough about it. And the kids, one day they were I think it was 5th or 6th graders were learning about DNA, and there was a professor, a biology instructor from MCC that was doing, I don't know, it was just really fascinating to watch.
Cool.
And to
were you a part of it sounds like you were there every day.
I was there.
Did you actually partake in the program yourself? It sounds like maybe
I was
you
there
were part
enough.
Of the Spark
yes.
program.
I should have been there every day because it was so fascinating. But I tried to get there a lot, and it was, kudos to, and we had a ton of our staff members that agreed to work along with volunteers. There were some silver cord hours being done by high school kids. Shout out to Tyler Lucas, who was there. So yeah, Spark was just, I can't say enough about it. On the Muscatine Community School District YouTube and Facebook, there's videos and recaps, and I hope that people will check it out. And like I said, the plan would be hopefully to do it again next year.
Yeah. Well, if kids are running into the school, then that's definitely a sign that next year might be a good idea to do that again. So.
Absolutely.
Super cool. So back to school.
Yeah, so back to school, kids, get excited. For, I guess, I want to say the new thing for our PK through 6.
Yep.
So something new for preschool to 6th grade is called Muskie Connect.
Yep.
And Muskie Connect is taking the place of home visits. Now, with that being said, for preschool at the Muskie Early Learning Center on the 23rd, they'll still be doing some home visits, and then on the 24th, they'll be reaching out to families to stop by MELC and take a tour and meet the teacher and get into the classroom.
I think that's so helpful for kiddos to
absolutely.
be able to be in the environment, especially if it's their first year.
Definitely. And I think, selfishly as a parent with a soon-to-be 4th grade and 1st grader, so that's what I'm saying. So from K to 6, elementary students, 23rd and 24th, you'll be getting scheduled a 30-minute visit with your child's classroom teacher. So it'll be your student, your teacher, and then parents or guardians, and they'll have an opportunity to meet them, to talk to them, to kind of see where things are at. And I like that one-on-one a lot.
Yeah.
Again, I'm thinking of myself as a parent of 2 elementary students, how beneficial that'll be for Henry in 4th grade and Ted in 1st grade to get to be in that class, like you said, to meet their teacher, to kind of know where things are. Certainly they've been at McKinley for a number of years, so they're familiar with that.
Yep.
But it's always different when you go into a different homeroom, so to speak.
Yep.
But that is new, and the Muskie Connect flyers are on, again, the website and on social media.
I think we have those too, so Jess can be pulling them up and showing people.
Perfect.
But for sure, it's definitely important to take the opportunity. If you can make it to those nights, it's helpful for parents and, like you said, for the kiddos to just be able to meet that teacher, even if it's somebody that they've seen in the hallway before, to be able to have that one-on-one experience. It means a lot.
It's definitely,
it helps get the year started.
It's going to be a big deal, I think, to have that time for the teachers and the students. And then again, for those, PK through 6th students, their first day will be Wednesday, August 25th. So just keep that in mind, their first full day. So the 23rd and 24th will be Muskie Connect, and then the 25th is when, for me, it'd be my 4th grader and my 1st grader are going. And the other thing I want to mention is that for drop-off times, so obviously this last year that was a little different, trying to navigate the pandemic. So we took a lot of time and thought. So 7:45, cut to the chase, you can drop kids off at all school buildings, which I know isn't, maybe 7:30, which people were used to several years ago, but 7:45 is at least, heading again in that right direction. And that should hopefully do better for people that have to get to work. Because obviously we understand that families have, to get to jobs, and that drop-off can be tough sometimes. But 7:45, just so everybody watching is aware, that's when that'll be happening. So.
Well, that is helpful, for sure. And
I think so.
I mean, all you can do is do the best that you can as a school district and head in that right direction. And it's hard when you're a parent and you're working, and so 7:45 is helpful. I mean, that gets
Again, I feel like we're all trying to get back to as normal as we possibly can. And I hope that's helpful for everybody. And just I'll clarify as I look at my own notes. So just coming back to the back to school stuff for a second. So on the 23rd, Monday, August 23rd is what we call New Muskie Day for 7th grade students that will be coming into Susan Clark Junior High, and then for freshmen, 9th grade students at Muscatine High School. The 24th, 7th and 8th, so 7th and 8th grade will attend Susan Clark, and then at the high school, everybody's there, so 9 through 12. And then the 25th would be the first full day for those preschool and elementary students. So just so we're clear, and again, this is something that we'll continue to remind people about and communicate. I thought about do I just get a giant inflatable to put outside the district building? That's honestly, you almost need a billboard that everybody, of course that's, wishful thinking, something that everybody can see. It's as if we could put it on the front page of a newspaper that lands in all the mailboxes, perhaps. But I just don't want anybody...
Talk to someone about that.
I don't want anybody to be caught off guard by school. And then
we will put it in the newspaper for you guys.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Just don't put this
I'll talk to a girl about that.
You know somebody?
I know a girl that could probably hook you up.
I like that. And then speaking of faces and face masks, a question that we keep getting a lot, and I just had somebody message me yesterday on Facebook and said, what's the deal with face masks? So I just want everybody to remember that in May, Governor Reynolds for the state of Iowa passed a law that prevents school districts from requiring face masks. So that is a law as of now. So that means that no school district in the state of Iowa has the ability to require the use of face masks. Now, with that being said, we can certainly encourage face masks for people that are not vaccinated, specifically maybe for kids in elementary school because there's not a vaccine available. But I just want to be crystal clear that when the governor signed that into law, that prevents the districts from saying masks are required. Right. And the other thing I'll mention is that 75% of all MCSD staff are fully vaccinated. But again, I know the mask thing is, if there's questions out there, that's the truth. It would have to take a change at the state level from Governor Reynolds' office before school districts in Iowa would have the ability to make a decision about that. But and again, that's something that we'll continue to get asked questions about. And for parents and families that are watching that want to send kids in masks, by all means, you're free to do so. It's your choice.
Absolutely.
But I will also say that for kids that ride the bus, this is where it gets a little confusing, but it's not on us. So for kids that ride the bus, there's a presidential executive order that requires the use of face masks. So for kids that ride the bus, and this is everywhere, this isn't just Muscatine, for kids that ride school buses, have to wear a mask. At school, cannot require them. Again, I know it's kind of confusing. I'm not trying to muddle things up, but
Thank
it's
goodness
just
there's this guy that gets out communication from
Right.
Muskie Teen School District.
Your kids ride the bus. There's a presidential executive order that says masks.
Okay.
State
So
of
bus,
Iowa,
yes.
School,
you don't have
optional.
to. It's optional.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm really hoping that that's as clear as I'm saying it in my head and then saying it out loud.
Yes.
But yeah, so
And,
that's.
I mean, we have a while, so we'll
Yes.
continue to remind everybody
Definitely.
about those things throughout the rest of the summer for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the benefit of the doubt that we have is we have time to continue to talk about stuff.
For sure.
So, yeah.
So I also saw some posts that you were putting out about maybe some free breakfast and lunch for all the students again this year.
Yes,
Is that
absolutely.
a thing?
Yep, that is so exciting. So, Alicia Eggers and the food and nutrition team for the school district all summer they were feeding kids.
Yeah.
It was great. And then through the USDA, so all schools in our district, free breakfast and lunch for all students. Everybody, right? So I don't know if this has ever happened where it was everybody, but it is everybody. So whether it is preschool to high school, everyone is included. The only charge would be for extra items like extra cartons of milk or extra entrees.
Yeah.
Like for someone like me, if I was like, well, what if I want another corn dog? Then you would incur costs, right? But other than that,
Crispito Day.
Right?
Basically, it's for Crispito Day.
Okay, so this is hilarious that you mentioned that. I was at the high school last week meeting with Alicia Eggers, and her team was taking a break, and they were all eating Crispitos, and I didn't know what they were having because I haven't had a Crispito in a while. And Ashley, I'm here to tell you, I had 2 Crispitos, and they were amazing.
They're delicious.
Holy moly! So this is a I'm reminding myself to have school lunch more often, which I will happily pay for.
You have to have it on Crispito
they were so
Day.
Good. I didn't realize. I kind of was like, Alicia,
so how
can I get a Crispito?
Could I get one of those?
You can, if you want to come have lunch at the high school. It's on me.
Can you let me know when it's Crispito Day?
I will call you at 6 a.m. on the morning of and tell you. But they were so good.
They are
and
really good.
Our food and nutrition team are rock stars. They are, I don't want to say they're the unsung heroes because I really try to shout them out and recognize them. But there are so many people. Our district is almost 1,000 employees, from teachers to paras to our custodians who are rock stars, food and nutrition staff, amazing. All the people that are working on like the buildings and grounds, like there's just an amazing group. But yes, Crispitos on me. For sure. Like, I gotta make sure. I don't know if I have to like scan my ID. I don't think there's a barcode, but like when I went to high school, that's
that's what you had to
right?
do back
And then
in the day. Now I think you have to punch in a number or something.
maybe I'll just use Clint's number.
Ooh.
The superintendent.
Can you tell
Only
me
on
what his number
Crispito.
is?
I think it's 1.
One.
Only on Crispito Day, though.
I think it's 1.
So that's like your favorite school lunch item? is
Yeah,
Crispitos? Okay.
Yes.
Are you dipping them in anything?
For sure, the nacho cheese.
That's exactly what I had last week.
The cheese for sure.
I had no idea. I would have totally brought you Crispitos.
Oh, shoot.
You know what? That could be
Now
a
you
fun
know.
idea if you had Alicia Eggers on the show and she brought school menu items. And you could just try it. Why am I even here today?
Yes, why?
Alicia was in my office like an hour ago. We were talking. I should have.
Why didn't you bring Alicia with
sorry.
Crispitos? I'll eat them at 9 a.m. I don't even care.
I mean, not that we're going to try and compete against the Market Grill food here at Hy-Vee.
Right.
But I think it would be
school lunch and
school breakfast and school lunch segment.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's the best. I'm going to have to accompany her that day
Yeah.
to make sure she's not nervous.
Yes.
Just to have a Crispito off
Make sure
camera.
she stays like on brand.
I'm gonna just be hanging out with Mark Wahlberg having a Crispito party
Mark.
behind the
Would
scenes.
that be performance inspired?
I think Crispitos are part of a balanced diet.
Yeah.
And look at me, I look just like Mark Wahlberg, so
Yeah.
you can trust me.
Yep. Yeah.
That's a joke.
Yes.
I don't look like Mark Wahlberg.
So unless you want doubles or triples of Crispitos, it's free.
Right. That's a good point.
everyone.
Yeah. Free meals, breakfast and lunch for all students at
That's
all
awesome.
schools. It is a really amazing thing to be able to have.
That is
Yeah.
super cool. So
Yes.
then talking about food, Riverbend and the mobile food pantry. Let's talk about that
Well-
before we leave the food thing.
Elaine on Facebook just asked, what is a Crispito?
Oh, Elaine.
So we need to define a Crispito. It was kind of like a fried, it's like almost like if you rolled up a taco and fried it. It was chicken. The one that I had was chicken. And maybe
Okay.
I'm doing a terrible job of defining it.
It's basically like meat. Yeah, it's rolled up.
Yeah.
And then it's fried, and then you just put cheese on it, and
Yeah.
it's just like. Oh,
Chris, are you
yeah.
looking up a definition of a Crispito?
It's
I'm sure that there's an
delicious.
official.
You should definitely
I feel
put
like-
a picture or something on there. Oh yeah.
No, Elaine, you are fine. That's a great question.
That's a good question,
Yeah,
but
they're really
you
good.
need to definitely have one.
Yeah, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but I feel like I would get Crispitos and flautas confused because flautas are also kind of like rolled flour
Yeah.
tacos fried.
Crispitos are still better. I think.
I love that
Ask
you're
me.
on Team Crispito. This
Team
is
Crispito
awesome.
for sure.
It's so great.
Yes.
Ah.
And it doesn't matter. Like I've tried to buy them and
Yeah.
make them at home, and it's just not the same.
No
It's
way.
just not,
yeah, you got to leave
so-
it up to the experts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get
Yeah.
that. I mean, that would be like me trying to make donuts at home when I could just come here
Right.
and buy them. Sometimes it's
Or the
okay to
new-
trust.
Triple berry bliss waffles that they
We got a
have.
Crispito image.
Oh, good. So she pulling up. There's the
There it is.
Crispito.
Okay, you
So-
found a Crispito.
Yes.
Perfect.
So everybody at home, this is what we're talking about.
This is what's happening. at
If I would have
school.
known, I would have taken a picture of the Crispitos
Yes.
last week. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm doing a disservice to the
Yum.
show.
Yeah,
I
there they
apologize.
are. Yeah.
There they are. There's the Crispitos.
Yummo Crispito.
Yeah, so
So-
you were saying Riverbend?
Yes, Riverbend.
Okay, so next Tuesday, August 10th, so a week from today, Riverbend Mobile Food Bank returns to the parking lot at the admin building. So 2900 Mulberry is where we're at, and this will be starting in August and then every month moving forward for the entire community. So in the past, we had kind of maybe limited the food bank to just families with students in the district. It's for everybody. Okay. So starting at 4:30, you can come to our parking lot, and the volunteers are going to load your vehicle with food. So
Okay.
the district has had a long relationship with the Riverbend Mobile Food Pantry, with Riverbend in the Quad Cities, and they supply the food. We'll have volunteers that are pre-packaging food into boxes, and then the same volunteers will load your vehicle. So you don't have to get out. It'll be a drive-through process,
Right.
as quick as we're able to get people on their way. And it takes a lot of volunteers to do this, and I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Laura Cook and Jeff Keefe, who for years were really the masterminds behind the Riverbend Mobile Food Bank. They're stepping back, and shout out to Laura and Jeff.
Yeah.
Seriously amazing that they were able to do this, during the winter, during a pandemic. They've
Made it happen.
Yes, for a long time. So really, and they're both great people. So thank you for your efforts. And it's nice. We had an internal sign-up sheet for volunteers that went out, and it was cool to see on the Google form, like staff. I put my name in, and if for people that are watching, if you're looking again, if it's students looking for silver cord hours at the high school, or if your group, like if it's a church group or organization, or just as an individual, if you want to volunteer, we would love to have you. It's next Tuesday, the 10th, 4:30 till 6 in our parking lot, 2900 Mulberry. And Ashley, I started this job last September, so I think October was the first time that I volunteered when we did the Riverbend Mobile Food Bank, and I was shocked at the amount of cars. We had a line of cars almost out and down onto Mulberry. So we know that there's a need in this town, and
Yeah.
we're happy to have this at our location, the ability to get people in and out on that drive-through. But it also just boils down to the volunteers, because if we don't have the volunteers, we can't do it. So thank
Right.
you everybody out there. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's a great service for the community, and it seems like you've got the system down now, and it seems to be going really smoothly. So if that's something that you can volunteer for, if that's a service that you need and you need a little bit of assistance, drive through, and it goes pretty fast. You just drive right up and goes the food, and off you go.
It's awesome. The volunteers really, it's cool when we get a lot of students, whether it's their first time or if they volunteered. But that first time student that is watching the volume of cars, I think it's a real eye opener for them.
Yep.
And you go, okay, there is a need in my town, and this is important for me to be here, and I hope that continues with getting young people involved and things like that. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So moving on down the list of all the things.
Yes.
You haven't been on for a little while.
Crispitos?
No
more Crispitos?
Well,
okay.
I mean, we can if you want, but.
Well.
So I think it was maybe like a few weeks ago that I saw a big box going down the road, and I think it might have been something to do with the renovations that are happening at our stadium, right? Here.
Press box.
Yeah.
Holy moly. So that same day that I was enjoying a Crispito, when I got to the high school, the MHS Stadium renovation project continues. So I pull into the back of the high school, and there's a giant crane, and it's lifting a press box, a brand new press box, on top of the new bleachers. So just timed out that I was there, and
that's
again,
cool.
There's pictures and videos on our Twitter and Facebook, and it just was really cool because you don't typically see a giant crane lifting a very heavy, I'm assuming, the press box, and then they just very carefully,
sat it down.
Shout out to crane operators, because that seems like a stressful job. But yeah, so progress continues. Progress continues at the high school with the stadium renovation project, which included removing old bleachers, new bleachers, more accessible seating, redoing the field with turf, and then the press box the old press box was small.
Yeah.
Comfortable. What's that?
Cozy.
Cozy. Yes.
I think is the word that people use sometimes.
Some would say there was enough room in the old press box to have a big party. The rooms were gigantic. No, so this is it's going to be a lot better, more space, and it's looking really good. And for people that live, and even if you don't live near the high school, if you drive through, just keep in mind it is an active construction site, so be careful. But it's great to watch that. Sometimes you hear about projects, and then it's kind of like the STEM wing last year. You knew that there was something going on at the high school. At least before I started, I wasn't really sure. And then, my experience was like, it's done and it's gorgeous. And that's, for some people, that's what it'll be like. They'll be at a football game and they'll go, oh my gosh, this stadium looks fantastic.
Yeah, so, it's like you talk about it forever and you're like, oh, it's like, who knows when that's ever going to happen. And now it's like, whoa, it's happening.
It's here,
Holy
so
buckets.
we just need to keep having weather that cooperates, because I don't know if folks are aware that sometimes inclement weather, rain, and other things don't really bode well with construction projects. So as long as we can stay on the dry side, the team's working very hard on that.
Yeah.
So we appreciate their efforts.
It's been
hot. I don't know if you know, it's been a little hot too.
It's been slightly hot and muggy.
I mean, I know the last couple of days it's been nice, but for people that are working outside, lifting press boxes with cranes, I don't know. Unless the crane's air conditioned, then maybe it's the best job ever. I don't know. I mean, you see the new combines in the fields, and they're autopilot and have air conditioning. So maybe cranes have the same thing. Maybe I need to get into the crane business. But I'm happy that press box landed. It just looked like Tetris, it was.
The words that you're using to describe the process leads me to believe that you shouldn't get into the crane business quite yet.
Maybe when I retire.
Maybe.
In 24 years. Not that I'm doing the math. That could be my retirement job.
Maybe.
Because certainly people that are retired are not really retired.
Yeah, and they should be operating cranes.
That's right.
At that time.
Heavy equipment. Yes.
Yeah.
That's going to be, can I just tell you something
Thankfully, it won't
nerdy?
Be at our
Yeah, well,
stadium.
Let me tell you the nerdy idea that I had
Okay.
as I was driving the other day. I don't know why I was thinking about what I'm going to do when I retire, but I thought, what if I was like a bus driver
Yeah.
for bands? Like, how do you get the job of being the guy?
Yeah.
Or a school bus driver? We're always hiring school bus
Right,
drivers, by
yes.
the way. So my retirement job ideas are crane operator,
Or
again, 24 years from now, or I get to drive a tour bus.
that would be fun.
Isn't that a fun idea?
Yeah.
I could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could probably drive a bus better than I could operate a crane.
Yes.
So that's what I'm thinking I'm going to
I
do in
think we
24
should go
years.
for that one.
Tour bus driver.
Yeah.
Because by then, again, the buses will probably all be automated, and
Right. Yeah.
I just have to sit there and make sure it doesn't, have any issues.
Right.
I'm qualified.
You're very qualified, I would say. Yes. So another thing, like once the school year hits and we start
Sure.
school, then all of a sudden it's like homecoming.
Yes, right.
Like before you know it, it's like, holy crap, we need like a dress and like all the fancy stuff
Yeah.
for homecoming.
I can't believe it. I had like 4 people in the last 2 weeks ask me when is homecoming, and it is so the game, homecoming football, would be Friday, September 24th, and then homecoming, like the dance, would be Saturday, September 25th.
Gotcha.
So I was surprised at the amount of people that were asking.
You gotta get those dresses before those.
And those
you
are
know.
things I don't know. So I'm glad that
you
you're
have-
like aware of that,
Yeah,
because
you're the little princess that's gonna need
yeah.
all the dresses.
So if Lucy's going to be 3 in October, I still have 11 years before she would potentially go to homecoming.
She's definitely going.
And it's safe to assume that homecoming dresses, by the time my daughter would need one, will be very
like
affordable.
About 2,000.
Oh my gosh.
You'll have to mortgage your house probably. You're gonna
Yeah.
probably have to get a loan.
That's gonna be a busy weekend.
So that is, homecoming is the 25th. I'm thinking about when I went to homecoming in high school. Again, it doesn't seem that long ago. And 2022 will mark 20 years since I graduated high school.
Wow.
And that makes me feel very old.
Yeah.
So, but I always had a good time at homecoming.
Yeah.
I didn't go every year. I think I went 2 or 3 times. But yeah, it was a good time. I have fond memories from homecoming. And again, we hope that we're able to have the most normal homecoming
Sure.
as possible for students at Muscatine High School, because we want them to be able to experience. There's you and I both, everybody that's here right now,
Right.
and probably everybody watching, did not go to school during a pandemic. We certainly had different experiences. I was at school when 9/11 happened.
Yep.
There are things that happened, but my learning was never interrupted.
Right.
And I think we're all continuing to navigate a pandemic, and we want to get, like I said, as close to normal as possible. But it has certainly been challenging for our staff and students and for families. And I just hope that people know that, at the district, we understand that. And our hope is to just have kids going to school, to setting them up for success. And then what I love about what's happened at the high school with the portrait of a Muskie graduate is that we understand that not every student is going to be on the same path in
Yep.
life. And we want to make sure, Ashley and everybody watching, that if you're a freshman and you want to be a welder and that's what you want to do, that by the time you graduate, you can also maybe have that welding certificate and a job.
Yep.
Or if you want to go to get a degree and you're going to have, you're going to graduate and then go to MCC, or you're going to graduate and go to a 4-year school, whatever the case is, Muscatine Community School District wants to take that preschooler and get them through.
Yep.
And if you know the path, sometimes kids will say that they know what they want to do when they're like my kids' age, 9 and 6. And if they stick with it, then let's listen to them and set them up for success.
Yeah.
I can tell you that in high school, my thought was okay, I'm going to be I'm going to graduate, I'm going to go to college, and I'm going to become a high school English teacher. Well, my path certainly has changed, and I'm just thankful that there were options for me to make those adjustments, those course changes, so to speak. That happened to me in college, right?
Right.
So, but we need to be able to have that at the high school level, because if you know what you want to do, then let's get you there. Let's not hinder. Let's say, okay, you want to do that. Here's the path that'll get you to exactly what you want to do.
Yep.
You want to be the next greatest doctor. Here's the path. You want to, whatever it is, whatever the direction, we can set you up for success.
Yep.
You want to be the next TikTok viral star? We could probably get you there.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes it's about talking to people and reaching out to the community and asking people in those fields for help and for advice. Yeah. And I think that's what we're, as a district, just hyper aware of, is that things are changing, the needs of the workforce are real, and let's have those students be prepared. I think one of the things somebody told us, and I don't want to say which company, but there was a local company that said they had, and this is last year, but they had a couple of openings for people to do like graphic design. And these were jobs that were paying like $100,000 a year. And it's like, again, I have kids and I'm being selfish thinking of my own kids. Like, if that's what my kids want to do or whatever it is, I want to do whatever I can as a parent and as somebody that works for the district to get them to that point, to take that job, to have that opportunity, whatever it is. It could be, you want to be a cop, like I said, you want to be a welder, you want to be a mechanic, like you want to own your own business. Let's make sure that you have the skill set to do it. Because that was not
everybody takes the same path.
Well, I went to high school, like I said, 20 years ago, Oak Park River Forest outside Chicago, and at the time, it seemed like when I was in high school, you're either going to a 2-year school or you're going to 4-year. That was it. And the best example I have is that I had a group of friends of about 20 friends, and we all, so 19 out of the 20 went away to school, and my friend Jeff stayed home, and Jeff, a year later, realized he wanted to become a plumber and is now a very successful journeyman licensed plumber. But sometimes you don't know right away. But if you do know right away, like imagine if Jeff had known at 16 that he wants to be a plumber. And if he was at a place like Muskie High School, we could say, okay, you want to be a plumber? Here's the path to get you there. So that's what I'm really excited about, is that portrait of a Muskie graduate and getting our students set up to be able to graduate high school and go do what chase their passion. You know,
explore all those options. It's so weird to think that like you're expected to know what you want to be when you grow up when you're that young. And some people do, you know, and some people don't. So it's cool that, you know, that they get those opportunities to really explore that.
And sometimes Joe Wieskamp, maybe when he was 10, was like, I want to play in the NBA. And guess what? Went through the school system, and Joe Wieskamp is on the San Antonio Spurs. So whatever the example is, like, let's help you get set up for success. So
it's very cool. Good things happening.
A lot of stuff going on.
Lots of stuff going on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Absolutely.
It's always fun.
So I'm going to have to ask you to play a game before you leave. You know.
Okay. Yeah, whatever you need.
So it's National Watermelon Day, so I need you to put this on your head and balance it.
Okay. Wow.
For at least a minute.
Oh my gosh. This is heavy.
So
August 3rd is National Watermelon Day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you balance that for a minute?
For 1 minute?
Yeah.
How is my posture? This is making me feel good about the curls I've been doing at home. I don't know if I trust myself enough. These things are heavy.
Yeah, I didn't actually think you'd be able to do that.
Is there a real trick to knowing how sweet a watermelon is?
Well,
Have you heard that?
I used to work
What's
at
the deal?
Like a market, and we used to like knock on them.
Just knock on it?
Like, and see how.
Like that one doesn't, I don't know, is that one sweet?
Let me see.
You're the expert.
Like, it's not, like, it probably needs another day or so.
Wow.
Day or two.
So when you retire, you could be the watermelon
queen.
This one is sweet.
Yep.
This one needs a day. That's a very valuable skill, I feel like.
Yeah. You can also look for if they have yellow bellies, like really yellow bellies.
Okay. Where's the belly on a watermelon?
This.
Can you show me?
Yeah,
okay.
like this.
Okay.
A yellow belly.
Nice. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And cantaloupe, you smell like the.
You smell the cantaloupe?
Smell like the little thing.
I worked here for 2.5 years, so I don't know if I ever saw anybody smelling cantaloupe.
Well, I'm sorry. You should learn.
After the show, I'm going to smell cantaloupe out there.
Okay, no, for real though.
Isn't that
Toyota,
funny?
you know, they sponsor What's in the Box.
Yes, I'm aware.
So.
Okay.
Did you know that there was a timer on the top?
I do know that.
Why didn't you tell me about that?
Well,
were you trying to set me up for failure?
I don't think we
I
ever
thought you set people up for success around this joint.
Yes. I don't think we ever used the timer.
We didn't.
Because
but
most people figure it out relatively quickly or they give up. The thing that always makes me nervous about this is that the unknown. This is the unknown.
Yeah.
It could be alive. I always used to ask Chris, is it
not
alive?
We didn't
it's
have
not.
enough time to get alive.
Okay.
Are you going to open the door?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Hello. I'm new. Okay, so this is something that's in a packaging. It seems like, Chris, there's only one item in here, and it feels like candy. Maybe. Okay, so it's a longer. Oh, this is like peanuts. Is it a thing of peanuts? It is, because these are like the thing of peanuts that cost like $1 or so.
Yeah.
Right? Is that right? Hey now.
Do you know what day it is? Remember what day I told you it was?
Watermelon Day.
What else? What other day is it?
Oh, I'm not saying that.
Me either.
Some of these national days have.
It's
Yeah. Couldn't you just say that it's like National Nut Day?
right.
Couldn't they just call it that?
Yeah.
Salted and blanched
If you want to
peanuts.
know what other national day it is, you need to look it up on your own.
Yeah. I like peanuts. I do.
I do not.
Really?
No.
There's so many different
No
kinds.
nuts, no peanuts.
Wow.
I'm a anti-nut
Wow.
kind of gal.
They're so good though. I don't know if I've ever had these in particular, but
Yeah.
I've been known to, whether it's an online order or an in-person. Like if I see these at a register, like this is an impulse buy. Not maybe these exact ones, but
Right.
just where do you stand on beef jerky then?
I like beef jerky.
Okay.
That would be my
Not that
impulse
they're
buy at the register.
comparable, but they're usually at places
Right.
where, yeah.
Yeah.
But no nuts for you. Okay.
No.
Oh.
I have one more thing before you go.
Okay.
That I want to talk
Is
about.
it your puppy that's over here the whole time?
I need to introduce you and the rest of the world
Okay, I was gonna say.
the new.
Oh, this is the
Pearl
first
State
time?
Pup. This is the first
wow.
time. This is the big debut. Mm-hmm. He's being so good, you guys.
Yeah, it's almost like he was like asleep, but
Look at the new. This
Buddy?
is Mr. Carter, and him's is the new Pearl City pup. Aren't you? Are you the Pearl City pup?
he's
like,
so
"Oh."
good.
He is so good.
Like as someone that has a puppy at home, Carter is.
Carter is so good,
Wow.
and him's the new Pearl City pup. Say hi, Carter.
He's so
So-
calm.
Mr.
Hello, Carter.
He was chewing on my hand a majority of the show.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Hi, buddy.
but he's like, hi.
Yeah, he's
Hi,
good
Gary.
looking. Do you know what?
So, the vet said that he thinks he has some, like, Aussie in him.
You're cute.
But we're not really sure because
Hi.
he is a rescue pup. And that's I mean, he's the new Pearl City pup. But I wanted to bring him on because you know about It Takes a Village Rescue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Megan and the crew that is just going everywhere and rescuing pups and finding foster homes and then forever homes for them. They're having they have a fundraiser coming up at the end of August, and so I wanted to bring my little new pup, my new rescue pup on, and just show everyone you can be a forever home for someone,
awesome.
and they're just so darn cute. Look
Yeah.
at him; he's such a good little pup. He's
And
like, "Hey, Tony." you
Like
wanna
he's
play?"
got good-sized paws, and I wonder, like how big he'll get.
I mean,
I don't know.
it's gonna be like surprise.
It's the dog from the Sandlot. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, he looks great. Like
But-
he hasn't barked once.
No.
Which is like both my dogs would have barked constantly if they were here.
He's a little bit.
He's just wow.
He's a little bit spoiled,
Oh, really? Just a little?
Just a little.
but we
Mm-hmm.
feel like he deserves to be spoiled.
Yeah. I think it's
this point
like the people
in
that
life.
do things like It Takes a Village. Man, yeah, I was telling Ashley before we started that we were at the dog park yesterday and the day before, and like people that help animals are just awesome. You know, they really, if they can
Yeah.
go out of their way to save
I know.
animals and find them homes,
So,
like it's so much work.
I think, when did Megan come on, you guys? Like, I don't know, a few months ago, and they've already saved like 70 some dogs
That's unbelievable.
in that short
Wow.
time. Finding foster homes and then, you know, taking them to the vet, making sure that they're good and healthy, and then finding them forever homes. So Super cool. So at the end of the month, they're having their fundraiser. I hope that you guys will go and be a part of that. Go on their Facebook page and find out more information, and they're going to be on the show to share more information about that. But I wanted to introduce you all to Carter, the new Pearl City pup.
I think you should give all your guests rescue dog. I don't need one. I'm good at my house.
So I should invite Lucy.
Whomever else you have on, you could be like, and here's
hey,
Jess
Megan.
would.
I wonder if Megan's watching.
Here's your parting.
Are there any rescue ponies out there that Lucy might need?
No, I don't have room for a pony. I'm just saying, that would be. Look at his face. He is.
Look at his face.
So just adorable.
Oh, look at that.
Just hanging out. I love it. Yeah, this is why I think, again, the thing I remind people is that,
look at his little face.
Can I just win the lottery one time, Powerball or Mega, and just write a check?
I'm gonna eat your face.
That's what I would do.
I'm gonna eat your face.
Oh my gosh,
I'm gonna eat your face.
so good. Might be the best puppy ever. There's an award for that. Carter is gonna win it.
Him's a Pearl City pup, the best puppy ever.
Oh, I love it. He's super good. I mean, I thought he was gonna run off as we were doing the show, and he was just hanging out.
Nope.
That's really awesome. Good job, buddy. You did good.
Good job. Him's a good boy. Him's gonna get a puppuccino.
Oh,
he's like, oh yeah, puppuccinos.
He doesn't even know what that is, but he's excited. That's awesome.
All right. Well, Carter got his big debut as the Pearl City pup. We talked about the Muskies.
Yes, so much going on.
So much happening.
Visit
it's
the
National
website.
Have Day.
Have a watermelon. Have a website.
Have a website.
Have a watermelon.
Website.
Yes.
Have a watermelon. Come knock on some watermelons. Get the right one.
Yeah.
Sniff a cantaloupe with Tony.
I feel like if that's what the secret is to finding out the best produce, go for it, right?
If
it's
you need a
free country.
tutorial, I can post one later for you on how to sniff the watermelon, or not the watermelon. Don't sniff a watermelon. You won't really smell anything good, but it'll be. But anyways, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for being part of the show here, Mr. Pearl City Pup.
Good job, Carter.
Good job, Carter. You're the good boy. You're the bestest boy. Him's the cutest guest I ever did have.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Him's the bestest guest. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Sorry you weren't the cutest guest
That's
of the show
okay. Carter's
today.
Awesome.
Sorry about that.
Puppies and kids win every time.
I know. Yeah.
It'd probably be the most viewed segment ever because of Carter. Oh boy.
Look at that. He's like, what?
Oh boy.
Yep.
He's ready.
I win. I want my puppuccino.
Yep.
All right, guys. We will see you again soon. But don't forget that kindness is free. So spread that stuff wherever you go.
Hello, I'm Tennille with R7 Reclaimed, located in Grandview, Iowa. We mix old and new goods together so that you can find the story of your home. When you get here, you will find a mix of old and new goods that are put together so seamlessly you won't even be able to tell which is which. And not only that, it's going to speak to you and your home. We are worth the road trip. We call it the R7 road trip. So punch in 337 Cemetery Lane, Grandview, Iowa into that GPS and make the road trip.